Good morning, or welcome to whatever time that you are in right now. Welcome to class. My name is Alyssa, and this is a Vinyasa class. We'll flow through postures. The intention is that this practice be relatively accessible. And I think I'll be real that to be accessible to everyone is not impossible, but unlikely without self-responsibility from practitioners. So what I'm trying to say is biodiversity is huge. Everybody needs different things. Everybody comes to their practice for different reasons. And you are valid, and the way you practice is valid. First and foremost, thank you for being here, for deciding to practice today, for letting me be in a part of it. Let yourself have power inside of this creative act of this practice. Sometimes structure is good. Rigidity tends to not be what we're going for. So notice sort of the relationship to the idea of discipline. I think the discipline to show up and do a thing is really the point of view, and to do it on the regular. If you do it every day, even if you do it for 10 minutes, even if you don't feel like it works, you're doing it. So use this video how you'd like. If you need to stop it halfway through or stop it after 20 minutes or come back to it later, it's always okay to do that. Always stop and add postures that you like or omit postures that you don't. Fast forward through them if you want to. Or please feel free to be creative. Use things in your space around you. Maybe you're at home. Maybe you have access to yoga props or other objects. There's always a list in the video of things that might be helpful for the practice, but it's always up to you. And feel free to take the time to let that be a part of your work. Let this be something you have permission to take hold of and to use for your own sake. I'm a human, so sometimes I am not perfect, and I ask your forgiveness. Please feel free to ignore what isn't for you and to know that I'm in my journey as well. So if you need to give me feedback or let me know anything like that, always feel free to reach out to me. I am truly open to hear what you need and what you think. All right, we're going to get started with this practice. I thought this week I'm having an experience of revelation, and not the kind of experience where something's revealed to me, but things that I have known in secret for a long time are starting to be revealed to others. And it's interesting to be a part of it, and it's interesting to feel the feelings that I'm feeling inside of revelation of realities. There's a lot of vulnerability, I think, involved when things are revealed or made open. And for me, there's a lot of fear that things being made open may not actually solve them. In fact, usually what dominates, what sort of has power and dominant control in some way will come in and overtake that which is trying to revolutionize and liberate, etc. And so in the practice, I'm thinking a lot about how we can decolonize and sort of, I laugh because of course we need to be doing this decolonization work, but how can we even sort of remove from our practice the cultural affect? Obviously, some of that affect comes with us. We've been trained into being the way that we are. It's just true about all organisms, brains, humans, based on our experiences and the culture we may have had exposure to over our lifetime. The yoga practice not only is about shedding away some scars we don't need and the ego of ourselves, but also the ego of our culture, right? The ego of the idea that we already know how things should be, etc. Affirming work is good. This is not to destroy everything that you know of yourself or anything that's useful to you that you're holding on to. But start to consider and notice how it is we sit with pathways, and when they're open, when we can be with them, what are we doing with that openness? How are we being kind and compassionate? How are we using our truth and our intellect and our wisdom to come towards these things? All right, so we'll practice that. Maybe you might practice doing poses, breathe and move. It doesn't have to be super complicated, but remember, the poses are not what we're practicing. They're the means by which we practice, at least from the education that I've received about it. My dog Albert has walked through the shot a couple times. He probably will a few times more. He's here. He really likes you to know that he's here. Apologies for him. But he's around if you're curious what that sound and sort of blob of reddish brown moving across the shot is. All right, having noted all of that, let's get started. You can sit up on something if you're not already. You can sit cross-legged or sit on a chair, sit with your legs folded underneath you. I like to begin this practice by uniting with 3 rounds of the seed sound of Om. I offer Om as a secular chant, acknowledging the interconnection between all things. If for any reason oming or chanting isn't for you, it's okay to sit with us in presence instead. Perhaps maybe there's a sleeping family member in the next room, etc., and so on, and silence is more your jam. Let your eyes close if it's available, or perhaps it feels more stabilizing to downcast the gaze at one spot. Let your hands fall into relative neutral. If there's a gesture or mudra, a position of importance for the hands that you mean to fold them in, feel free. Otherwise, let them be somewhere where not too much attention goes their way. Set your spine in neutral. Try to find a little relaxation in your shoulders. Stack your head in relative neutral over the rest of your body. No matter the mechanism, the opportunity is here to practice paying attention to how things really are. To prepare for oming, to clear and prepare the energetic channel, take a big free inhale in through your nose. And open mouth, exhale each day. Inhale, prepare for Om. Take a long inhale in through your nose and a slow exhale out. And I offer that you might stay in a seat to begin, or you could come to child's pose. Bring the tops of your feet to the ground. Your big toes can touch. You can have knees together or wide or in any setting in between. Know that child's pose is not for everybody, like every posture is not for everybody, as it were. Right? You know the powerful tools that are best for you. And so as you start to collect them, as you start to do practice in a physical realm, know that you might need to pad your hips or your knees. You might discern, in fact, that beyond that, you really need to do a different posture, like lie on your back or your side instead, or just this pose so it doesn't look like it does in my body, or perhaps in other bodies you might see doing it. As you bring your knees wider together, consider the pressure in your knees and hips. Fold forward and down. You can bring your hands to stack a block or some books underneath your forehead. Relax your shoulders. You always have the option to bring your forehead to the earth if that feels like a good range of motion, to take your arms out long in front, or to slide your hands back by your hips. I'll occasionally come in and out of demonstrating postures simply to be able to communicate with you. Once you've settled down into this pose, allow yourself to do just that, to feel heavy and relaxed. Close your eyes. And your sensations are yours, right? Really in a way that I can't even know, right? What that sort of signal firing is, what the interpretation, right? How you sort of self-communicate from the body's perspective. So know that if it feels like a prudent choice to do something different, to do it in a different way, even one that's unsuggested, please do take on that self-power of creating this practice as a collaboration with other things. And as you settle down into the work that you're doing right now, as you relax your jaw and your tongue and your teeth, begin to pay attention to how things are. Notice the sensations of importance to you. Maybe you can notice, starting from the external point of view, the sounds in the space around you, the temperatures, the textures. Maybe there's awareness of the amount of light moving through your eyelids. Maybe you feel the pressure of the earth against your body, gravity pulling you down. I'm going to notice body sensations if you wish. You could notice where things are compressed or extended, where things feel active or soft, the proprioception, the sense of your body in space and the shape that you're in. You might consider energetic information. Maybe you know an energy platform or idea already, and you're moving through that check-in context. Maybe it's just noticing, how much energy do I have right now? Is there a quality or a mood? Any pertinent emotions to be acknowledged in their power? You don't need to change how you are. Sometimes it's difficult to be honest about how we feel. even with ourselves, because then we have to sort of feel how we're feeling, right? I'm not here to tell you how to move through that work, but just notice, right, how much there is to pay attention to beyond that which is always drawing your attention. You could notice also your thinking mind. What are you thinking and how are you thinking it? What is the form of your thoughts? What is the content? And as you pay attention to all these things, remember that this paying attention is a practice of truth without attachment, right? Of noticing how things are without attaching our sense of identity or reality or value to them. Simply noticing. As I study our sensibilities from an anatomical point of view, I find that really your body and your ability to take in information mentally, physically, emotionally are all just lenses, interpretations, where you meet with reality. So if we seek any of them as full truth, we tend to lose a broader perspective of the truth that might be collected through collaborating with our cultural truths, collaborating with our community truths, collaborating with knowledge in a different way. Begin to breathe. If you know an Ujjayi practice, if you have a deep breath practice, begin to breathe in and out through your nose or through your mouth. Otherwise, 3 breaths to find it. Exhale the air you have in your lungs and get a little extra empty, maybe pushing the air away by drawing your belly muscles back. And then inhale slow at the bottom. Breathe in through your nose, fill up through your belly, and then into your rib cage and all the way up into your chest, and hold softly at mostly full. And then open your mouth to exhale HA. Good. And at the bottom of that breath, inhale in again through your nose. Try to slow it down by slowing down how much it fills your lower back and then your back ribs and then your shoulder blades, and hold softly at mostly full there. And again, open mouth, exhale, HA. Ujjayi, seal your lips, breathe in through your nose, snoring. Ujjayi, seal your lips, breathe out through your nose, sighing. And continuing to breathe in and out through your nose in this fashion and way. Deep and full, long and slow, and begin to move. As you move your breath, move your body up and down, and start to feel the rib cage and spine expanding and rising, deflating and falling. And you might inspire movement from there. Wiggle your fingers and toes, shrug your shoulders, shift your hips from side to side a few times. Give yourself permission to move in this way. And relax as you go. So notice if creating action equates to creating tension. It does for me sometimes. We're headed in the next 5 or 6 rounds of breath towards this hands and knees position, this tabletop shape. You can go there sooner or later. It can be real pragmatic, the movements you take. They don't have to be performative or graceful or beautiful or something that's been suggested with a Sanskrit name before. Move around a little from a point of view like you do stretching in the morning. There's no wrong way to do it, even if it feels a bit arbitrary. And slowly in the next 3 or 4 rounds of breath, let's come towards neutral tabletop. I'm going to do a little of these path walks with our body, a little bit of shifting from side to side. We've done it before. It comes with many different names, but it's generally intended to be simple. So you can always take it down a notch or up a notch in any direction that you feel. If those cues make sense for you, you can do it in any way you wish and at any pace. Otherwise, you can follow my cues. Inhale your right arm forward and your left leg back. And exhale, hand down, knee down. Inhale, left arm forward, right leg back. And exhale, hand down, knee down. Lengthen your breath as you go, following side to side. Right, so opposite arm is leg. And I suggest that instead of trying to lift your leg up way higher than your body, you think about length in these actions. unless it feels really good to do it the other way on purpose. And also to consider, if you're shifting your weight way out from one side to the other, as opposed to just staying in the central line of action. And both have their benefits. You want to do what you're doing on purpose. A few more. And the next time you put your left hand down and pause in tabletop. And we'll meet there for some cow and cat action. So again, stabilizing your hands really under your shoulder joints, right? So it might be shorter or longer. And again, your knees under your hip sockets as opposed to wider, unless it's purposeful. Inhale, cow pose, drop your belly, lift your chin and tailbone up. Exhale, cat pose, curl and compress and round. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. You can follow this pattern. Inhaling and exhaling. Or make your own pattern of breath and movement. Involve your pelvis. And I suggest trying out leading with the rib cage, the spine instead of with the neck or the gaze. Let your head come along for the ride like the ball at the end of the tether. When you're ready, inhale to cow pose. And exhale into a moving down dog. Spin your knees and hips up and back. And begin to breathe and move. You might bend opposite knee, plug opposite heel down, shrug and hood your shoulders, shift from side to side, back and forth, around and around. And this action of shifting around might just give you perspective on the structure, right? The alternative to down dog I often offer is tabletop. So you can always come back there if it gives you relief in the wrists, the shoulders. You can also utilize the dolphin down dog on the forearms if you're someone whose wrists tend to just feel a lot here for any reason at all. You're welcome to keep your knees bent and your heels lifted. I suggest as you breathe, spinning your index fingers, pointer fingers to point forward from your shoulders. So you're rotating your biceps a bit forward, hang your head. And always widen your hands more if you feel congestion or pressure at the back of your shoulders. Relax your neck. And you might apply a little toning of your abdominal wall back, of the floor of your pelvis up. And call these bandhas, locks, or seals. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk your way to the top of your mat and hang in the ragdoll form of forward fold. I like to widen the feet and bend the knees. You can grab the elbows or flip your palms up. Hang your head. Notice the feelings that you feel in the body. I suggest that the body is a good place to return to from a sensational point of view. Sometimes you might think of it as the altar upon which the ritual of the practice is happening, right? The sensations happening in the body give us a point of view to pay attention and to practice with. So notice. Notice also any patterns or pathways of thinking or ideation you have around paying attention to your body. Any dualistic context for how it should be, as it were. Plug into your heels, and over the next 5 rounds of breath, roll up towards standing. Drag your head, drag your fingertips. Let your head be the last to lift, and take your time. If it needs to be different, prudent to flat back up or to bend your knees on the way, take your time to find it. And once you're standing in Sama Sitihi, and same on all sides standing posture, same as all pose. Sama means same, Sitihi is stand at attention. You can choose your version. I like feet together, heels together, but for some bodies that's not super stable. You might choose feet hips distance to feel powerful and grounded. You might choose heels separated, big toes close. Roll your shoulder blades down, turn your biceps forward. You love flipping your palm forward. I'm not here to take it from you. But remember, neutral is not performed. Neutral is experienced. And you figure out how to stand with all things without being pulled in any direction, as it were. And really, gravity is pulling you down in all directions equally, and you're trying to find a balance in between the physical realm. Stack your head in neutral and notice your intention. Notice what is being revealed. Notice what is being offloaded. Notice the space to create anew. And then your next few breaths, ujjayi inhales and exhales, begin to flutter your eyes open. Tune in to what's around you. Slowly at first, Surya Namaskara A. Inhale your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Arms can be shoulder distance, or if range feels good to press the palms and look up, feel free. Exhale, forward fold, stick out your tail, dive down, always option to bend the knees as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your spine, draw the navel back. Exhale, hands down, step to plank pose. Let's lower all the way down on the exhale. Knees can come to the earth on the way. Tops of your feet down. Inhale, Bhujangasana Cobra. Peel your heart up. Press your feet down. Exhale, bring your chin or forehead down. Let's do it 2 more times. Inhale, Cobra. And exhale to lower. Follow your own breath for the last one. And curl your toes under. Inhale through hands and knees, and exhale to downward facing dog pose. Tail high, heels low. I do this first version this way because it is classic. In fact, knees, chest, chin, cobra, a classic form of vinyasa. You can also lower halfway and go up through upward facing dog pose, the chaturanga vinyasa that many folks are familiar with. Remember, our idea of what is classical is often really pertained to who taught it to us. And the classical intention is to liberate yourself. So try not to get stuck in dogma if you can. Avoid it. Press into your hands. Inhale. Exhale, step or float to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We complete the cycle. Exhale, fold down. Inhale all the way up to Urdhva Hastasana. Arms up posture, reaching upward. Exhale, Samasthitihi. We return to neutral, the beginning and end of the sun salutation. Ekam, first position. Inhale, arms up. Due, exhale, forward folding. Second position to dive down. Trini, inhale, third position, unroll your heart. Chatwari, exhale, fourth position. Step or float back and lower halfway or all the way. Chaturanga Dandasana. Pancha, inhale, upward dog or cobra, the fifth position. And Shat, exhale, downward dog pose, the sixth position. Breathe. Sun salutations are a cycle. Breathe in and out through your nose. What do cycles reveal to you? A straight line is often the context of our outlines, the way we plan things. There's a product or goal at the end. What if the work you were doing was a circle, and when you got to the end, you had to begin again? In your next exhale, step or float forward. Land on your feet. Supta, inhale, unroll your heart. Seventh position. Ashtau, exhale, folding. Eighth position. Noah, inhale all the way up. Ninth position. Exhale. Back to neutral, back to zero. Samasthitihi. Let's continue. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding. Inhale, unrolling. Exhale, chaturanga of your choice. Inhale, upward dog. Press into your feet. It's okay to come through the knees on the way. Exhale to downward dog pose. Be kind to your lower back in transition. Breathe 3 to 5 breaths. Ujjayi pranayama. Exhale, step, hop, or float forward. Arrive on the soles of your feet. Inhale, unrolling, halfway lift. Exhale, folding, Uttanasana. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching upward. Exhale, Samasthitihi, neutral pose. Good. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hasta. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana to extend from center. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, four-limb staff pose. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog pose. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog pose. Ujjayi Pranayama, in through the nose and out through the nose. Fill your back ribs and side ribs. Relax your face and jaw. Strong hands and feet contact the earth. Press into your hands and exhale, step or float forward. Arrive on the soles of your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up pose. Exhale, Samasthiti. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to change the posture again. Exhale to move again. Breathe in down dog, a time of stamina, a pause, not a rest. Exhale, step or float forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up pose, Urdhva Hastasana, reach upward. Exhale, Samasthiti. Return to neutral. All right, a little bit of sun bee action. We'll start with the classic form. You have to step your foot forward in a really short period of time in this flow. So take your time. It might take you a few tries to figure it out. But don't worry if it takes you a little extra time to do it. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. Sink your hips low. Utkatasana means fierce, powerful pose. Some folks call it chair because of the seat down and back. You can inhale your arms forward or up. Bring your hands in front of you if the shoulders bug you out here. You can always press the palms if it feels good, but it's not necessarily better. Take a big free inhale in. Exhale, fold forward, dive over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga of your choice, step or float. Inhale, up dog. And as you exhale to down dog, use the same exhale to step your right foot forward between or towards your hands. Spin your back heel down. And inhale to warrior one. You can climb up your front leg or reach your arms out or up. Plug the feet down. Exhale to chaturanga. Bring your hands back down. Step your right foot back. Lower half or all the way. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, down dog, and your left foot steps forward. Now, if the back knee feels funny with the heel down, feel free to keep it up like this instead. Otherwise, heel down and inhale, rise up, warrior one, reaching upward. Exhale, chaturanga, hands down, step it back and lower. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog, Ujjayi Pranayama, in through the nose and out through the nose. In your next exhale, let's finish the cycle. Step or float forward, land on your feet. Use an inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, fold and bend your knees for fierce pose. Inhale, arms forward or up. Still inhaling, press into your feet. Stand up, straighten your knees, and exhale, Samasthiti. All right, take a big free inhale in. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chaturanga of your choice. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog, right foot. Steps forward. Back heel down. Inhale, warrior one, rise up. Strong heel strike on the earth. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Step it back to lower down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog, and the left foot steps, back heel roots. Inhale, rise, arms up, reaching upward. Exhale, chaturanga, hands down, step it back to lower. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog, Ujjayi pranayama. And 3 to 5 breaths in down dog. To retune to the breath and the intention. What are you practicing? Exhale, step or float forward. Inhale, unroll. Exhale, fold, bend your knees. Inhale, Utkatasana. Still inhaling, rise. Exhale through Samasthiti. Last one, bend your knees, sink your hips. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, unroll halfway. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha, right foot for warrior one, known as the noble hero. Inhale up, Virabhadrasana. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, step it back to lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog, and your left foot steps. Right heel roots. Inhale, warrior one, arms up, reaching upward. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, step it back and lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Breathe. Ujjayi pranayama. Ujjayi means upward liberating or victorious. And there's a lot of context to it. Can't really be explained in this sentence. But you might consider it in the context of unifying the mind with the body, the higher ideas of spirituality with nature in the pelvis, in the spine. Exhale, float forward. Inhale, unroll. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, hips low. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samasthiti. Step or hop your feet half a foot apart. Inhale, breathing, lift the front seam. And exhale, fold down. All right, so we're going to start with this really classical Ashtanga business. Bend your knees as much as you'd like to. Here, I'll turn this way. I like to take my feet about hips distance. And this is usually a setting a little bit wider than the anatomical version stacked underneath. You can take 2 peace sign fingers around your big toes. A lot of us will bend the knees a lot to get our hands down here, and that's just fine. Keep your knees as bent as you'd like. Inhale, unroll your heart. And exhale, fold by bending your elbows and pulling yourself in and down. Spin your tailbone up, draw your navel back, and breathe. Inhale, unroll your heart. And exhale, release the hands off the feet, soften your knees, and step your left foot to the back of your mat, long, low lunge. You can tend to the fingertips or draw hands up onto your top knee. You can always do this work with the back knee down, in fact. Inhale, cow lunge, dip your hips, lift your heart. Exhale, cat lunge, straightening the front leg, round in. Inhale, cow lunge, dip your hips, lift your chest. Exhale, cat lunge. Keep breathing. You're doing this with the back knee down. It ends up looking a little more like this. And the next time your front knee is bent, drop the left knee to the mat. You're always welcome to fold your mat over or put a t-shirt or something underneath if the kneecap feels tender. Really, it's your kneecap shifting out of the way, right, so it doesn't take too much pressure that we usually feel. And you can stay here and kind of hook your right shoulder, armpit over your right knee and hang your head. It's a good place to start. We're often looking to stretch the top of this left hip, the front of this left hip, the iliopsoas, the iliacus, the top of the quad, lower abdominals. Just send your pelvis forward and down. Good. And if you'd like, you can stay there. You can climb your hands up onto your right knee thigh and interweave your fingers and kind of press your thigh bone forward. Use the muscles of your hip socket to draw your thigh bone back into the hip, even as opposition is presented. You can reach your left arm up, inhale, and exhale, side body bend to the right. You might keep your right hand on your leg or take it to the ground like I am. You might reach up for your hand and pull. A little more strengthening in that action, I think. You can be more forward towards your leg or more back. Relax your neck or lift your chin up a little bit. Then take an inhale to draw back up through center. And exhale, cactus the arms to back bend. Pull your shoulder blades down your back and lift your heart up. Good. Inhale, arms up, reaching upward. And exhale, hands to the mat. Frame your front foot. Curl your back toes under and lift your knee off the mat. Take an inhale to look forward with one or many steps. Exhale up to the top. Hang in forward. Fold. Good. Inhale. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold and step your right foot back, long, low lunge. Again, tent to the fingertips so you can work up on the front knee or with the back knee down. Inhale, cow lunge. Exhale, cat lunge. Follow your breath. Inhale. And exhale. And really the breath is the thing that's often emphasized, prioritized in Vinyasa. In general, I do think that it's the most difficult practice, actually, to do all these things while still breathing fully and clearly on purpose in the Ujjayi form. And the next time your front knee is bent, pause. Lower the back knee down if you haven't done so already. Hook your left shoulder, armpit around your left knee and hang your head. You might bend your elbows and really let the weight of your torso and skull hang onto your left thigh. You might feel a lot of compression doing this, and if you do, lift away a little bit. Now, the compression isn't necessarily a sign that something bad is happening in your body. When you're ready, if you'd like, climb up onto your left knee thigh and interweave your fingers as you press your pelvis forward and down. Again, finding stability as you need to, two thigh bones drawing in and up, just as much structure as is required. Inhale your right arm up, inhaling. Exhale, side body bend to the left. Reach down with your left fingertips. Reach up with your left hand for a grip or to move the right wrist over. Breathe along the right side of your body in the Ujjayi form. Good. Inhale, rise back up through center. Exhale, cactus the arms to backward bend. Move your shoulder blades into the middle back. Inhale, arms up, reaching up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Frame your left foot. Curl your toes under. Inhale, look forward. One or many steps. Exhale, your right foot to the top of the mat. Hang and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold deeply. Good. Bend your knees and sink your hips for Utkatasana. Feet about hips distance is my recommendation. Inhale, arms forward or up. Exhale to bring your hands to heart center. Hang your right ankle over your left knee thigh, figure four, and turn your leg out. Now, if this is already a lot, alternatively, you might stand here, stand with a bent knee and your right knee in front and work the strength that is occurring. A lot of different benefit for different folks. You can also do this work sitting down, crossing one ankle on top of the other in a chair or on the ground. And put your hands on ankle and knee if you wish. Up dog your chest, lift your heart. You can take your arms forward or up as you sink your hips down. And just like Utkatasana, don't be afraid to back bend. Draw your belly back, but stick your tail out. Your spine was made of curves. Take a big free inhale in. And exhale, release. 2 feet down, forward fold, hang your body over. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll. Exhale, fold. Let's do the other side. Bend your knees, sink your hips, Utkatasana. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer, heart center. Hang your left ankle over your right knee thigh. Let it turn out. Stick your tail out. Now, a lot of us, the pelvis kind of turns to avoid the pressure of the stretch. And it's okay to do it on purpose, but notice form really just as an idea. A hallway you're walking down that might be of use to you. For shelter, for knowledge. Take a big free inhale. You might reach your arms forward or up. Take an exhale to sink a little deeper. You might even look up, lose the ground from your direct and peripheral vision. When you're ready, exhale, release. 2 feet down. Hang. In, forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Good. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Step or float back, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, up dog or an alternate. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale your right leg up and back. One-footed dog, reach through the foot. Exhale, scorpion the dog. So start to open your right hip on top of your left and bend your knee if you like. Drop your foot toward your head. Relax your neck. And always bend your standing left knee. Give yourself a lift in the heel, more space if you'd like. Inhale, straighten and reach the right leg back and long. And exhale, knee to nose, chin to chest, shoulders over wrists, like in plank pose. Inhale, one-footed dog, expand. Exhale, right knee to right shoulder on the outside edge. Inhale, one-footed dog, reach. Exhale, right knee to left, elbow or shoulder underneath the body. Inhale, one-footed dog, reach, expand. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot forward between your hands. All 10 toes face forward. Let's rise up to high lunge, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Arms out, forward, or up. And always choose to do this work with the back knee down, a different variation. Try to find equanimity with your hips so they feel stable. The bowl of your pelvis could hold water, as it were. Draw the navel back. Inhale, stretch up. And on your exhale, let's do an open revolve twist to the right. So right arm back and left arm forward. Doesn't have to go super far to be effective. There to keep your pelvis twisting the opposite direction your heart is twisting. Inhale back through crescent lunge. And exhale, open to warrior two. Spin your back heel down and widen your feet if you like. A variety of correct angles. You could be heel to heel lined, heel to arch. Lots of ways to find stability. Reach through your arms. Good. Flip your right palm up and inhale to reverse the warrior. Reach out, up, and back. Very nice. And exhale your hands to the mat. Frame your front foot. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward and fold at the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, hips low, Utkatasana. Inhale, arms up, reaching upward. Exhale, hands to heart center. Shift your weight to your left foot. Hang your right ankle over your left knee thigh and sink your hips down. Take a good breath in through your nose when you've arrived. If you're wobbling and falling down, know that that's human. It happens to everybody. Grace is almost like serendipity sometimes. Good. Slowly inhale, straighten your left knee. Hang your right knee in front of your right hip socket. Stand up. Hands can be in front of the heart or at the hips. Inhale, circle your arms up overhead, reaching up. Exhale, bend your standing left knee and start to tilt your body forward so that you can step your right foot to the back of your mat in high lunge. Inhale, arms up, reaching up or out. And exhale, let's open twist to the left. Bring your left arm back, right arm forward. Breathe here. Again, think about letting your right hip lift a little. Find a little bit of equanimity. It's not about micromanaging into the shape, just about awareness. How do things move? Where is stability required? Where is ease invited? Inhale back through center, crescent lunge. Exhale to warrior two. Spin your back heel down. Widen your arms out. Take a few breaths to settle into this shape. Virabhadra means noble hero. We're allowing ourselves to be broad and righteous. Flip your left palm and inhale to reverse your warrior, out, up, and back. And exhale, hands to the mat. This time, let's step back to plank pose, upward push-up. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga of your choice. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale, HA. Good. Breathe in through your mouth like through a straw. Out through your nose, Ujjayi. In through your nose, Ujjayi pranayama. Out through your nose, Ujjayi. Inhale your left leg up, Ekapada, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, open the hip and bend the knee. Breathe and move as you wish. Press into your hands, change the shape to create access to it, and do this from hands and knees position as well. Good. Inhale, straighten and extend. And exhale your left knee towards your nose, chin towards your chest, round and dome your spine, shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, one-footed dog, reach and expand. Exhale, left knee to left elbow or shoulder on the outside edge of the arm. Inhale, one-footed dog, reach. Exhale, left knee to right elbow underneath. Inhale, one-footed dog, extend. Exhale, low lunge, step your left foot forward between your hands. Inhale, crescent lunge in your own way. Exhale, open twist to the left. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. Bring your elbow of your left arm to your knee, or you might bring your hand to the earth or a prop outside or inside of your foot, or to hang there. Inhale your right arm up or over your ear, and draw your belly muscles in so that your upper body is supported. You're in a standing pose as opposed to a leaning pose. Of course, if you need to lean for some support, do. Remember, effort is often a part of these standing actions. Inhale, reverse your warrior, out, up, and back. Exhale, hands to the mat, spin your right heel up. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step up to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees, sink your hips. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Shift your weight into your right foot and hang your left ankle over your right knee thigh, figure four. Something that powers you and that gives you perspective, a place of work. Sit a little lower. Lift your heart a little taller. Good. Slowly inhale, stands you up. Hang your left knee in front of your left hip, straightening your right leg by plugging the heel down, and play with balance. You can always use a prop under your left foot as you practice. Inhale your arms up if available. Exhale, bend your right knee and start to tilt your torso forward as you send your left leg back until we wind up in a crescent lunge. You might put your hands down and then walk them back up. Inhale, reach up overhead. And exhale, open twist to the right. Right arm back, left arm forward. Inhale, arms up, reaching upward. Exhale to warrior two. Spin your back heel down and widen the arms out. Inhale to reverse the warrior. Out, up, and back with your right arm. Exhale to extended side angle pose. Elbow can be on the knee, and be inside or outside the leg on the earth. Take your left arm up and over and breathe. Plug your heels down. Relax your jaw. Spin your heart up and open towards the left. Press into your heels. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, hands to the mat. Spin your back heel up. Plank pose, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward dog, or an alternative. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Take a big deep inhale in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale, HA. Breathe in through your nose again. And out through your nose, HA. Good. We're going to do a little bit of this flow on both sides one more time with a few more things added in. Always feel free to omit or skip and work down into some hip stretching and some back bending as we're here in full moon phase time. All right. Take an inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, open your hip and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and extend. Exhale, knee to nose, listen. Inhale, knee to mat. It doesn't have to get there all the way, but lower it towards the mat below your heart. And exhale, knee back up into your chest. Inhale your knee towards the outside of your right shoulder. And exhale your knee back into the center of your chest. Inhale, knee towards the left shoulder. Exhale it back to center. I know. Inhale, one-footed dog, reach. And exhale, step it through. Long, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge of your choice. Exhale, revolve. Pause. If you'd like to make this also a side body bend, you might make this a humble version of the warrior. Bring your right hand towards the back of your left leg and reach your left arm up, twisting almost to look back over your right shoulder or backward bending to open through the front of the chest. Good. Inhale through crescent lunge. Exhale, 2, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, side angle with option to bind. So for side angle B, bring your right arm on the inside of your leg as opposed to the outside like that. And take your top arm up and over. You could half bind by bringing the back of your left hand to the small of your back, maybe sliding it down in between the leg if that's available. You could also half bind by taking your open right palm and from your shoulder turning the arm with the elbow bent so the palm faces behind you, and then bringing the back of your hand to your body. You might grab your hands there, but also use your clothes or a strap-like object. Take a few breaths to experiment, maybe even to come in and out. And also often do this work with the back knee down and the foot folded in if you'd like to. Sometimes it's more accessible that way. All right. One more inhale and exhale. Inhale, warrior 2, stand your torso up. Exhale, straighten your right leg and turn your right toes in. I'm going to turn around to be polite. You just go ahead and fold forward and down where you are. And your hands onto the mat under your shoulders, onto blocks. Some of us need to bend our knees so the hamstrings feel equitable, and that's okay. But keep active in your legs. Press your heels down. And instead of rolling into your toes, where your hamstring insertions will likely take pressure, try to keep your hips stacked over your feet equally. If you know a variety of pressing your hands into the ground with elbows bent, feel free. Bring the crown of your head towards the earth to fold your body all the way through your legs in that direction. Remember, there's no pot of gold once you get your body through the legs on the other side or anything. Inhale, unroll your heart like a halfway lift. Good. And exhale, your hands to your hips. Inhale stands you all the way up. And exhale to warrior 2. You don't need to turn, but towards your right leg. Turn your right toes to the front of your mat and bend your right knee. Reach your arms out. Inhale. And exhale, hands to the mat. Spin them down. Spin your back heel up. Inhale, look forward. And if you'd like, you can take off into standing L or split on the way. Exhale by exhale over 3 breaths. Let's meet with 2 feet down and together at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart. And exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, sink your hips low. Inhale, Utkatasana, hips low, arms up. Good, exhale, hands to heart center. Stand on your left foot. Hang your right ankle over your left knee thigh for figure 4. Stay where you are. You can start to slowly fold down. You might put hands on the earth or on blocks, so they might not get to the earth at all. But if you find your knee, your shin is coming into your arms, the back of your elbows or your armpits, you're welcome to Galavasana, to shift your weight into your hands and to pick your left foot up, maybe even extending it back. Give yourself a few tries. If you think, what's that? What's going on? Breathe. And remember that just because it seems complicated doesn't mean it is. Just because somebody's made it seem inaccessible doesn't mean it is. Usually it's just like, 6,000-7,000 more hours of practice before it changes. Let yourself consider the practice over the product. When you're ready, we'll slowly unwind. If you have no feet on the ground, put your feet down, start to lift your body up. And slowly straighten your left leg. Hang your right knee in front of your right hip. Inhale your arms out and up. And exhale to step your right foot back. Crescent lunge, high lunge. Inhale. Exhale, open twist to the left. Left arm back, right arm forward. Inhale through crescent. Exhale to warrior 2. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, side angle with option to bind. So you might start lifted on the elbow and take your top hand. If it's up and facing towards where the rest of your body is facing, turn at your shoulder so the palm faces back, and then bend your elbow. You might slide your hand down the back of your body. You might reach for your inner thigh and work the bind there. And also do the bottom half of the bind as a half bind. Similarly, turning at the shoulder, the back of the hand comes to the back of the body. Maybe two hands meet and you breathe. You can grab a friendly strap or a sock and use that to meet hands behind you. Remember that your body is to be honored as it is. It wouldn't be a better body if your hands grabbed easily, and vice versa. Next exhale or two, start to unbind, and we'll to warrior two. Exhale to straighten the left leg, left toes in, feet parallel for Prasarita Padottanasana. This time I'm going to suggest interweaving the fingers behind you at the tail. Inhale the knuckles down and the heart up, and exhale to fold forward and down. If this is too much in your shoulders, by all means, you can again hold a sock or a t-shirt between your hands, widen the grip, do something altogether different. Plug your heels down. Tilt your pelvis over the heads of your thigh bones. Breathe. Good. Inhale stands you all the way up. Exhale, warrior two to the top of your mat. Turn your left toes out. Bend your left knee and lunge down. Take a big free inhale in. And exhale your hands down to the mat. Step back, plank pose, inhale. And exhale, chaturanga of your choice. Inhale, upward dog or an alternate. Exhale, downward dog. All right, take a big inhale in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale, HA. Inhale in. Like a lion, HA. In through your mouth like through a straw. Out through your nose, Ujjayi Pranayama. In through your nose, Ujjayi. Out through your nose, Ujjayi. Inhale your left leg up when you're ready. Exhale, scorpion, open the hip, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten and extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, knee towards the mat. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, knee towards the left shoulder. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, knee towards the right shoulder. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, one-footed dog. Exhale, long, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, open twist to the left. All right, let's do that same version of humble warrior offering. We didn't do it through in the last time, but you're welcome to here. Reach your right arm up and hang back. Settle into your left heel. Drive your left thigh bone back and draw your navel back. So just really being high on the ball of the back foot. Otherwise, we kind of rest back into our Achilles tendon. Take an inhale through crescent lunge. Exhale to warrior two. Good. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Let's walk the feet in a little bit. We'll do triangle pose. Stick your tail out and tilt. Bring your left hand, shin, thigh block, earth, big toe, right arm up. I teach this as a twist. I think that's its most effective function by rolling the top hip forward and down and letting my heart twist open in the opposite direction. You don't want to bear too much weight in your bottom hand. Otherwise, we lose that strength in the center body. And if you want to bear weight there, it feels like it might not always be that way. It might be that way today. Inhale, stands you up. Exhale, warrior two, widen the feet. Take an inhale here. And exhale your hands to the mat. Spin your right heel up. Inhale, step forward or step up to standing split. Let's take 3 breaths or so to meet with 2 feet down and together at the top of the mat. Good. Inhale. When you're ready, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees for Utkatasana, hips low. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Stand on your right foot and hang your left ankle over your right knee thigh, figure 4. Feel free to stay and do this work or start to fold forward. Keep your right knee bent if you can. Give your hamstrings some space. You might start to work your shin, your ankle and knee into the backs of your arms. Maybe they're in the elbows and the armpits. If you feel like you can start to shift weight into your hands, feel free to experiment. I like to hook my foot around my bicep by flexing it a lot so that there's a little bit of a shelf resistance. You might lift one foot up, both feet up, pray with Galavasana, and remember to breathe. And slowly, in the next 3 to 5 rounds of breath, if you have no feet on the ground, put your right foot down. Unwind by coming back up the way you went down. And slowly begin to straighten your right leg and hang your left knee thigh in front of your left hip. Inhale your arms out or up overhead. And exhale, bend in your right knee to start to step your left foot back into long, low lunging action. Inhale, high lunge, crescent lunge. Exhale, revolved lunge to the right, right arm back, left arm forward. Inhale, back up through center. Exhale to warrior 2. Good. This time, straighten your right leg. Walk your feet in. Stick your tail out. Knees straight to knee. They don't have to be all the way straight. Exhale to tilt. Right hand down. Left arm up. Breathe. Press into your feet. Always okay to hang the head if the neck gets overworked or cranky. Good. Inhale stands you up. Exhale, warrior 2. Take a big free inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, open the hip. Inhale, straighten and extend, and exhale, right foot outside of right hand, left knee down, lizard lunge, breathe. 5 to 10 breaths. If you know you want to work twisted variations or back knee bent variations or crawling behind your right knee with your right shoulder variations, feel free. And always do this with hands up on blocks, higher lift, padding in the back knee, and turn your right toes out or roll to the blade of your right foot, hang your head. A few more breaths. Good. You can stay here. The work is for you. Otherwise, we'll head to pigeon. Toe heel your right foot across your mat towards the left. Pigeon is not for everybody. So if once you get here, your knee starts to feel funky or you just feel you don't have enough lift to pad your hips, a lot of pressure, roll onto your back. I'll show you in a moment the figure 4 variation. You're working in pigeon up like this. Try not to be super stringent with yourself. This idea that your hips need to be square, or that your shin needs to be perpendicular to the side of your mat, parallel to the front, etc., is pretty rare in most bodies and can be a lot of pressure on your knee. So feel free to let your right heel come way back into your left hip. Once you feel relatively good, you might stay upright, work back bending, hang your heart up. You could even take your arms up and back. You're welcome to hang forward and down instead. Again, about 10 breaths here. If you can let your neck go, your jaw soften at any point, do. And slowly press yourself up from this position. You're welcome to exit in any way you like. Some people come to a seat or tabletop. You might go back to down dog or one-footed dog. Take your leg out and up and move it around. When you're ready, you move into the left side. Inhale the left leg up and open. And exhale it into lizard. We often forget it after the pigeon. Step your left foot outside your left hand. You could stay upright on your hands or come to your forearms. About 7, 8 breaths in this shape. You want to work on bending your back knee, adding quad stretching, etc., or back bending, feel free to. And you're always welcome to stay in this work or begin to walk your hands up and walk your left foot over into half pigeon on the left side. I'll lay down on my back and show this figure 4 business if I can convince Albert out of the shot. Yeah, there you go, buddy. Let's turn you like this so you're not so intrusive. There we go. So if you're laying down on your back for this posture, you'll hang your left ankle over your right knee thigh, a lot like we did in that standing posture. So it looks a little bit like a 4, or at least I've heard that. And lay down on your back. You can keep your right foot down and use your left hand on your inner thigh to press. You can lift your right knee up. You might stick in pigeon, fold forward and down, or backward bend. All these varieties, just different ways to get at the sensations of the body, to remove patterns of tension that aren't required, to build strength where it is required for stability and health. And you can take your time. You can exit this posture in any way you'd like. In the next 4 or 5 breaths, you might sort of scheme and exit, come up and out. And come back to down dog or the one-footed dog. Move around a little bit from that perspective. Reach your leg out and up. And we'll meet in table or downward facing dog pose. When you're in down dog, take a few moments to wiggle your way down into tabletop. Move into the melting heart. Anahata Vishuddha, and feel like a lot. So take your time and go slow. Relatively, you'll keep your hips stacked over your knees, so they sometimes come more forward or need to go way more back. Walk your hands out long in front. You might come to your elbows and your forehead. You might even put your forehead on a block or on a rolled up sweatshirt or something like that. And widen your elbows if it feels really tense in the neck. And eventually and generally, the reason it's called melting heart is because some bodies will come down to the heart or the chin on the earth. Either way, the heart melts towards the ground, so you're doing it no matter what. About 5 rounds of breath. Good, and very slowly begin to find your way up and out. You might take a few cow cats or gently hang the head and move it around a little bit. When you're ready, cross your ankles behind you, bring your seat to the mat and your legs out in front. All right. Yeah, I think we have a little bit of time for it. Roll down onto your back. We'll take a round of bridge pose. If you have a practice of upward facing bow or Urdhva Dhanurasana, some people call it wheel, you're welcome to do it if it feels good in your body. It also take the supported form of this particular bridge pose by putting a stack of books or a block or two underneath your hips. Your feet and knees about hips distance, hands by the sides. Take an exhale to press your low back down. And inhale, roll your tailbone up off the ground. Roll your shoulder blades together. If you'd like, you can interweave your fingers underneath you. You don't need to keep your knees together. If there's no pain in the knees, it's okay to widen the feet and even turn the toes out to press the hips up. Give a little tone engagement in your inner thighs. A few more breaths. And exhale, unlock the hands and slowly roll down. Often twisting helps us unwind from backward bending more so than rounding does. Once your feet are down, you might drop your knees from side to side to loosen out the tension in the curves and digits of your spine. When it does feel good again, you can gather your knees into your chest and give yourself a squeeze. You're welcome to rock and roll from side to side, around and around. For the next few minutes, I want to open up the floor to finishing postures as yogi's choice. So if you're thinking, oh, I really needed to do Navasana, the boat pose, or I really want to practice headstand, or we didn't hop up into handstand, or I didn't get enough time on pigeon, I need to do a seated forward fold, I need to move my cat out of the way, right? Any of those things. Take your time the next 2 minutes or so to resolve your practice. And if you're thinking, I don't know how to do that, you can always head to rest early. Consider the way that you prepare yourself to settle down to be the ritual itself, which might mean gathering an extra layer of clothes or grabbing a drink of water, calling a pet over to cuddle with you, getting an extra soft cushion to put behind your knees, etc. Even scratching the last itches and putting your hair and your clothes in the place you want them to be could be part of your ritual of closing, of finishing the practice, as long as they're done with intention. And slowly take the time you need to wind down. You might even pause the video to take a little extra time. Albert's going to do a down dog here for the camera. All right. Albert, come here, buddy. There we go. When you're ready for resting, rest. You can lie down on your back or on your belly. You can choose a seated position for meditation. Some do. There might be a posture that you really feel restful in, that you could sustain in for minutes and minutes that you return to. We often lie on our back with our arms long, our legs wide, the corpse posture. You're welcome to lay on your belly or your side, to bend your knees to accommodate your lower back, etc., and so on. And slowly settle down into resting. You could close your eyes or look at one spot. You might have to get out the last fidgets and wiggles and scratches and fixes, etc. Let it be good enough so that when you do decide to rest, you know you did everything you could, and you can let yourself be in stillness and heaviness. We'll rest for a few minutes. I'll call you up and out when it's time to return. Until then, as things are revealed, pay attention to how they really are. Swasti Prajabhyaya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Go Brahmanyebhyaya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. If you're lying in rest and wish to remain as such, do. If the time has come to return, begin to go to your breath and ask it to be a little longer and deeper and slower, to breathe on purpose again. As the energy of the breath starts to move into the body, it might inspire some kind and intuitive movements, like running your tongue over your mouth surfaces, scrunching and spreading your face, opening and closing your hands, wiggling your fingers and toes. You can be intuitive, anything you like, ritualized, anything you mean. You might, over the next few breaths, start to stretch out or up like you're rising from a nap. When you're ready, gather your knees into your chest on an exhale and roll onto your favorite side. Left side being more lunar and reflective, the right side being more solar and responsive. And pause for a moment to consider the gratitude required for a practice in which you are not the only one involved. Right, to notice gratitude for community, gratitude for the lineage of knowledge that comes to you, gratitude for your own perceptive ability to start to disentangle the lineage of knowledge from the oppressive culture that it often comes with. Consider your own background, that which you bring to the table of your practice. Consider your own obstacles and difficulties, your own privileges and gifts. Consider the ancestors that came before, the earth that nourishes you. All of the things that make it possible for you to practice today are a continuum of things beyond what you think of yourself and your life. Consider yourself both in the importance and pertinence as a member of that collaboration, and also the humility of the broadness of that network. When you're ready, use your top hand to press yourself up towards a seat, and we'll seal in practice together. As you transition, if you haven't heard me say before, that's a traditional closing chant in the lineage of Krishnamacharya, from which Vinyasa Yoga comes. I learned it through the Ashtanga lineage. The overarching meaning of this Vedic chant is: Hail to the energy that creates. May the noble practitioners here be blessed, and may their work be effective and cultivate abundance. May our work seek to contribute to the happiness and liberation of all beings everywhere inside of this context of universality, non-dualism, and peace. If you wish, you can fold your hands in the prayer position or hold in the eye of your mind the idea of non-dualism, that everything that seems separate or disparate, in fact, has a meeting place on the scale of everything where it becomes one. And it is from that idea of oneness that we draw our perspective of diversity and inclusion. Thank you for your time, your work, your effort. I honor and salute it. If you wish, you can bring your thumbs to the third eye center, acknowledging that the mind must always bow to the wisdom and the intuition that lies in the body and the heart. If you wish, you can bow to yourself, seal in your practice. Again, for practicing yoga, for letting my words or offering be a part of your work. This is a donation-based offering, so no one's ever turned away for lack of funds. The sliding scale suggestion is usually 10 to 25. And from here on out for the rest of the month, all of the video recordings I offer, 50% of those proceeds will go to the Black Trans Task Force in Washington, part of the Lavender Rights Project, a group of Black, trans, and non-binary folks and other folks working together to get resources and safety to Black trans people. In the last 10 days, about 5 Black trans people have been murdered in this country. So continue to do your research, continue to know what's going on, and continue to pay attention and figure out where you insert into the revolution, where you insert into the world of change. And know that that's enough, right? If you don't have anything to give and you can go protest, go protest. Your work here is not about the commodity that you donate at the end of class. Spread the word that this is an accessible practice. Give it to people who need it. And again, thank you so much. And hopefully we'll get to see each other even in this time and space gap soon.